Hello guys, you are welcome back. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how to cut and sew this beautiful bubble gown using Mikado and Sequins. It is very simple, detailed and beginner friendly. So if you are interested, please watch this video till the end. I'm going to be using this Mikado fabric for today's tutorial, and here I have my fabric folded for both the front and the back because I'm going to be cutting both at the same time. So when folding, you're going to be folding using your shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus your sleeve length. So my shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 7 inch, and the sleeve length I'm working with is 12 inch. So what I have here is almost 18 inch. So that is how to fold your fabric before you go ahead to cut. The first thing I'm going to go ahead to quickly do now is to draw a straight line at the top of my fabric, which is going to be serving as my shoulder line. So all measurement will be starting from those points. After drawing the line, next I'll go ahead to start inserting my measurement, and I'm going to go ahead to insert the neck width measurement. For the neck width, I'll go ahead to mark a neck width of 3 inch because the neck of this dress is not wide. And for the neck depth, I'll go ahead to mark a neck depth of 1.5 inch for the back and 3.5 inch for the front. After which, I'll go ahead to draw the neckline like you see me doing in the video. So remember, we are cutting for both the front and the back at the same time. After drawing the neck width, next I'll go ahead to insert my shoulder measurement divided by 2. So my shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 7 inch. I'll go ahead to mark that. After marking that, I'm going to go ahead to insert my sleeve length from the shoulder measurement I just marked. So my sleeve length is 14 inch, but I'm going to be minusing 2 inch from that 14 inch because of the band on the sleeve. So instead of marking 14 inch, I'm going to go ahead to mark 12.5 inch at this point, and I'll go ahead to mark that also. Next, I'll be coming down by 1.5 inch from this point for the shoulder slope and mark. After which, I'll go ahead to connect that point to the neck width using my ruler like this. Next, I'm going to go ahead to mark the sleeve opening. So from this point, I'll go ahead to mark a sleeve opening of 11 inch, and I'll go ahead to mark that. After marking that, I'll just go ahead to draw a straight line from the shoulder slope to the point I just marked like this. After inserting the sleeve opening, the next thing to do is to insert your body's measurement. So for this gown, all you need is your hip measurement all the way down because the gown does not have any shape on it. So I'm just going to go ahead to insert my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inch for ease and 1.5 inch for my sewing allowance. So my hip measurement divided by 4 is 11.25. I'm going to go ahead to mark the 11.25 all the way down to the hem of the gown like you see me doing in the video. After which, I'll connect the point together with a straight line. Ease allowance depends on how free you want the gown to be, but for me, I'm okay working with 2 inch as my ease allowance and 1.5 inch as the sewing allowance. So I'll just mark it all the way down, then I'll connect the points together like this. After connecting, this is what it is going to look like. So just go ahead to curve this armhole area to eliminate this sharp edge I have at this point, and this is what the bodies of the gown is going to look like. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to go up on the shoulder slope and also on the neck width to mark a 0.5 inch sewing allowance like you see me doing in the video. Next, I'm going to go ahead to cut it out. So I'll go ahead to cut out the back neckline first like you see me doing in the video. After which, I'll cut out the shoulder slope and the main bodies. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead to separate the front from the back, then I'll cut out the front neckline too. After cutting, this is what the front block of the dress is going to look like. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to quickly do now is to cut out the facing on the front of the dress, and to do that I'm going to be using this sequence to cut it out. But because the sequence always stretches, I don't like cutting it directly on the sequence. So what I'll go ahead to do now is to get a gum stay, that is the light gum stay. I'm going to go ahead to cut it out on this light gum stay After which I'll go ahead to attach the gum stay to the sequence. So here I have the gum stay I'm going to be using to cut out the pattern. The first thing to do is to have your gum stay unfold like this. Then you're going to go ahead to place your fabric on your gum stay and arrange it like you see me doing in the video. After arranging it, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut out the neckline like you see me doing in the video, and also the shoulder slope. So next I'll just keep the front block of the dress aside like this, then I'll work on the gum stay alone. First thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to go out by 5 inch from this neck width, and I'll go ahead to mark. So from this neck width I'll measure 5 inch outward like this and mark. After marking that, I'll also determine how long I want the effect on the front to be. So for me, what I went ahead to do was to measure 23 inch because the sequence was a little bit below the waist. So I'm going to go ahead to mark that like this also. After marking the 23 inch, at this point where I just marked 23 inch, I'm going to go ahead to also mark my neck width. The neck width I took out right drafting was 3 inch. I'll mark that. Then from that 3 inch point, remember I went out by 5 inch on this shoulder slope. So instead of marking out 5 inch, I'll go ahead to mark out 4 inch at this point to get the slant effect on the dress. After doing that, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to draw a straight line at this point. Then I'll also go ahead to connect the shoulder to this point with a straight line. After connecting, this is what you are going to be having. Next, I'm going to go ahead to cut it out. After cutting, this is what you're going to be having. So when you open it up, you should have something like this. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to quickly do now is to attach this to my sequence fabric using my pressing iron. So next, I'm also going to go ahead to repeat the same process on the back block of the dress also. So here I have the back block of the dress. I'm going to be cutting the facing for the back block of the dress, and I'm also going to be using my gum stay to do that. So the first thing you're going to go ahead to do is to make sure that your fabric is arranged, the neckline is aligning, and also the sleeve is aligning. So after arranging, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to bring my gum stay, and I'm going to be using this small piece of gum stay to cut out the facing for the back neckline. So first you go ahead to fold it into two like this, then you place it underneath your fabric like this, making sure that the center part is aligning. After doing that, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is cut out the neckline and the shoulder slope. So next I'll take away my back block fabric, and I'll be working on the gum stay alone. And the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do at this point is to go out by 5 inch from the neck width like I did for the front. So from this neck width, I'll go ahead to mark out 5 inch like this and mark. After marking that, I'll also go ahead to determine how long I want the facing to be. So I'm just going to go ahead to measure 5 inch also at this point and mark. After which, I'll take the measurements all the way around like you see me doing in the video. Then I'll go ahead to cut it out. After cutting, this is what the back facing is going to look like once you're done cutting. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to work on the back block again to cut out the opening for the back block. And to do that, I'm just going to go ahead to come down by 4 inch from the neck depth on the back like this, and I'll go ahead to mark that, after which I'll cut that open. I'll also be repeating the same thing on the facing. This is going to enable the dress to pass through the head easily because the neck of the dress is not wide, so you need to have a back opening to be able to wear the dress freely. So after doing this, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to attach the gum stay to my sequin fabric. Then I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So after attaching it to my sequin fabric, this is what I had what I was done doing that. So it is important for you to use a soft gum stay so that it will be easy for you to fold the edges when folding. You know, sequence fabric stretches a lot, so you don't struggle when you attach a gum stay to it. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join the front and the back facing together on the shoulder. So I'm going to go over to my sewing machine to join the front and the back facing together using 0.5 inch. Once I'm done doing that, I'll also be repeating the same thing on my main fabric. I'm going to go ahead to join the front and the back block of my main fabric together on the shoulder alone. So I'll go ahead to quickly do this, then I'll come back. So after joining the shoulders together, this is what the facing is going to look like once you're done joining the shoulders together. And I also went ahead to repeat the same thing on my main fabric. So here I have the main fabric. I also joined the shoulders of the main fabric together. The next I'm going to go ahead to quickly do now is to join my facing to the main fabric. And to do that, here I have my main fabric. You're going to go ahead to make sure that the wrong face of your fabric is facing you. Once you're done doing that, the next you're going to go ahead to do now is to place the good face of the facing on the wrong face of your fabric like this. So the good face of your facing should face the wrong face of your fabric. Make sure the shoulder are aligning and every other part is aligning. Next, you're going to go ahead to pin it down, then you stitch the facing to your main fabric. So I'm going to go over to my sewing machine to do this, then I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So I went ahead to stitch the facing to my main fabric, and this is what I had once I was done doing that. After stitching, I notched it and I went ahead to top stitch the allowance on my main fabric, and this is what I had once I was done doing all that. So the next you're going to go ahead to do now is to push your facing to the good face of your fabric. So you're going to go ahead to push it in like you see me doing in the video. So once you turn it over to the good face, this is what you're going to be having. The next you're going to go ahead to do is to give it a good press so that the facing lays flat on the dress. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead to fold in 0.5 inch all the way around to hide the edges of the sequence. I'm going to go ahead to fold in 0.5 inch, after which I'll run a top stitch on it. So I'll go over to my sewing machine to do all this, after which I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So after stitching the sequence on the fabric, this is what I had once I was done doing it. This is what the front looks like, and this is what the back neckline of the dress is going to look like. As you can see, this method is so easy and it's going to help you to have a very neat finishing. Next, you're going to go ahead to quickly finish up the gown. So here I have the band I'm going to be attaching to the sleeve, and the height of the band is 2.5 inch. So I'm going to go ahead to attach the band to the sleeve like this. After attaching the band to the sleeve, the next I'm going to go ahead to quickly do is to close up the sides of the dress. So I'll turn it over to the good face and I'll go ahead to close up the sides of the dress. And also the dress is going to be having a slit opening towards the edge of the dress. So you're going to go ahead to determine how long you want the slit opening to be. So I'm going to go ahead to have a slit opening from those points all the way down, and I'll have the same thing on the other side. So I'll go ahead to quickly do this, then I'll come back to show you the final look of the gown. So after fixing the band to the sleeve and also joining the front and the back together, this is what the gown looks like. So if you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe if you are yet to, and also don't forget to like, share and drop a comment. Thank you for watching.